Hi there, this is Sol Sharon from Sol Sharon Films, and welcome to another double take. Today's double take is two films by Alain Delon and Jacques Deray. These are my first two Deray films. We're talking The Gang and Three Men to Kill, or Three Men to Destroy. The Gang is from 1977 and Three Men to Kill is from 1980. Both films produced by Alain Delon, and Three Men to Kill was written by Delon and Deray. Deray made a lot of gangster films with Belmondo and Delon, but as I say, these are the first two Deray films that I've seen. This is a Cohen Media Region A Blu-ray. These two films have been restored very nicely. The Gang is the lesser of the two films, and I won't really talk too much about it. It's based on a gang that worked in France after the Second World War, 1945, but it is essentially very similar to Dillinger films. The John Milius Dillinger film with Warren Oates, which is fantastic, and obviously Michael Mann's Public Enemies with Johnny Depp. You do, even though it's based on a true story of a French gang, it does feel very American and very 1920s, even though it's 1945. But the main issue with The Gang is Alain Delon's hair. It is arguably the worst hair you've ever seen in a film. It's a cross between a perm and an afro, and it just takes you completely out of the film, because every time he's on camera you're literally staring at the hair. Now, it's based on a true story, so I don't know whether the character in real life had that hair and they were trying to be as authentic as possible, but how Delon would actually agree to wear a wig like that is quite incredible. The film itself is kind of basic, run-of-the-mill. It shows them doing robberies. Some are more ingenious than others. There's a really nice chase involving Delon in a railway station, and it ends with a siege in the country of the inn that they go to, which is owned by an ex-criminal as well. But it's fairly bog standard kind of gangster film fare. There's nothing really special about it, apart from the ridiculous wig that Delon is wearing. It's 104 minutes. It should have been about 85. There is a lot of padding. There's not really a lot of character stuff. The members of the gang are kind of just fairly one-dimensional. It's an enjoyable enough film, but it's nothing special, I would say. But Three Men to Kill or Three Men to Destroy, that is a lovely little corker. This one, as I say, was co-written by Delon and Deray, and this one starts off explosively we see some missiles being loaded onto a helicopter, and then we see footage of the missiles in work, blowing up a plane, and then we see government types and arms dealer types discussing a deal, and some members of the group in the room disagree with what's going on, and they drive off. One of them drives off into the night, and he overtakes a car that is driven by Alain Delon, not with a ridiculous wig. It's Delon with his own wonderful hair. And another car kind of storms by Delon, who's just listening to classical music and driving. And then he sees a car has been taken off the road. So he stops his car, sees the man is injured, and we recognise the man from the earlier scenes. And he takes him to a hospital, but he doesn't register, he kind of leaves. And we find out from the nurse that comes out that the man has been shot twice. And then Delon, we see him go to his poker game because he just plays poker for a living, because he's Alain Delon, obviously. And he sees a paper that the man actually died. And then he seems to think that people are following him. He takes his girlfriend to meet his mum and out in the countryside. He gets strange phone calls. He gets attacked by two men when he's out for a swim, and they try and drown him. And they realise that, or he realises that people seem to be after him. The other two men that were kind of aides for the guy who has been killed, they also die in, well, not very mysterious circumstances. And the head of this organisation or wing of the government, the military, is obviously cleaning up loose ends, and Alain Delon is one of those loose ends, as his life and his friends are threatened and or killed. He tries to stop it in an explosive fashion. For a card player, he turns out to be quite handy with a gun, and he turns into a Terminator almost, trying to get to the bottom of who's trying to kill him and to try and stop them. At 93 minutes, it races along at a wonderful clip. There's a really well done car chase. I'm not the biggest car chase fan. I usually go to sleep as soon as car chases start. But this one's really effective. I think there's definitely a Citroen involved, and that leads to an explosive end of that car chase. It's very well done, very well shot. And again, the film doesn't really stop for 93 minutes. It's really effective, and even though it was made in 1980, it definitely has a 70s feel, and it definitely has a 70s ending, and we all know what that means. It's just very well shot, well acted. Delon is wonderful, as always. The fact that he's unburdened by not having a horrendous wig on, and again the corruption and the politics is very well handled. You know, the guy who's pulling all the strings is surrounded by art and artifice, and he wants to talk about his paintings, and Delon wants to talk about can you please stop having people trying to kill me, please. Delon's fantastic, as he generally always is. It looks really good. Again, both these films have been restored and look really wonderful. But if I was to recommend one of them, it would certainly be Three Men to Kill. I don't know whether you can actually get that separately. But again, The Gang is a fine, solid 3-star film. But Three Men to Kill is something a little bit special, especially if you're a Delon fan. And a fan of really tight, well executed thrillers. So again, perhaps not the two deepest films you're ever going to watch in your life, but certainly Three Men to Kill or Three Men to Destroy, which is a far better title, is well worth a look, especially if you're a fan of Delon or French films of the 70s. even though this one was made in 1980. So thanks very much for watching this double take of two Delon-Deray films. Deray films do seem to be quite hard to find, and a lot of them are just on DVD and expensive DVDs, so hopefully that will change. Maybe Cohen Media and Kino Lorber will release a few more. I think there might be a couple of Belmondo Deray films in Kino Lorber, I'm not quite sure. But I'll maybe have to investigate and see if I can find a few more Deray films. So thanks very much for watching. Again, let me know if you've seen these two and what you think of them, and hopefully you'll join me again for more double takes in the future. This is Solitary Ronin from Solitary Ronin Films, saying farewell.